Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to make an infinity hood scarf. You can wear this scarf multiple ways, and it's also super easy to customize the sizing if you want it larger or smaller. This is a beginner-friendly sewing project, so if you are new to sewing, you should have no problem finding the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, don't forget to grab the PDF pattern and let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need 2.5 yards for your main fabric, and you can pretty much use any style of fabric for this project. You can use anything from knitwear to canvas. I'm actually going to be using a very lightweight knit material. It's on the stretchier side, so it can be tricky to work with, but since it's lightweight, it's going to flow really nice and drape over my head just the way I want. And this is another thing you want to think about when you're picking out your fabrics. If you're picking out a stiffer fabric, it's not going to flow as much, so it's going to have a more structured look. But like always, test different fabrics and find something that's going to work for you. You'll need 1 yard of cord or drawstring. This is going to be used for the hood adjustment. Now this is optional. If you don't want to add the hood adjustment, you don't need this supply. Lastly, you'll need your pattern. This pattern is available at properfitclothing.com. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is download it, print it off, tape it together, and you're ready to go. But before you tape it together, the best thing to do is to cut off the top and one of the side edges. This is going to allow you to overlap the pages for a perfectly aligned pattern. And once you have all your supplies gathered and your pattern printed out, it's time to move into cutting. And after taping your pattern together, it should look like this. And since this is a larger pattern, you do want to check your printer alignment so all the pages line up correctly. And from here, we're going to cut on the outside of the black line. And after cutting out all of your fabric, you're going to want to end up with 4 main hood panels cut out of your main fabric. If you are making a reversible scarf, then you're going to want to cut 2 out of each fabric. You'll need 2 middle hood panels cut out of your main fabric. And again, if you're making it reversible, you'll need 1 out of each fabric. You'll need 1 drawstring panel cut out of your main fabric, and this panel is cut on the fold. It's also optional. If you don't want to add the drawstring, you don't need to cut this panel. And lastly, you'll need 2 scarf panels cut out of your main fabric. This panel is also cut on the fold, and since this is a larger panel, you may not have enough fabric to cut it on the fold, and that's totally okay. You can cut it without cutting it on the fold. You'll just be adding 1 more sewing step, and I'll get into that once we start construction. And if you are making it reversible, you'll need to cut 1 out of each of your fabrics. Moving on to assembly, the first thing we're going to do is grab the drawstring panel, and if you're not adding the drawstring itself, you can skip ahead to the next step. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is the fabric stretch guide. If you're using a stretch fabric for this panel, you're going to want the stretch to go vertical or horizontal. And what I did was match the stretch with my hood panel. My hood panel, I went horizontal, so for this panel, I went horizontal as well. But if you're not using a stretch fabric, then you don't need to worry about it. Now moving over to the opposite side of the panel, we're going to take a look at the hem guide, and we're going to use that guide as a reference to roll over both sides of our panel. And I'm only rolling the edge over once. Feel free to roll it over twice. From here, we're going to place a few pins and add a stitch directly on top of the hem, and I'm using a zigzag stitch because this is stretch fabric. And I actually sewed directly on top of the edge with the zigzag stitch so it covers that raw edge up. If you're using a non-stretch fabric, then you can use any style of stitch. Using the pattern one more time, we're going to locate the center fold guide, and this is where we're going to fold the panel in half to create the loop for the drawstring. So fold the panel in half on the center fold guide with the wrong sides together. To finish it off, sew the raw edge as close as you can to the edge, and I'm using a serger. Feel free to use a zigzag stitch or a straight stitch. After finishing up, this panel is complete, but there's a few different things you can do. If you don't like the width of the panel, you can actually make a new one, make it smaller, wider. Just follow the previous steps for construction with your new measurements. But anyways, at the moment, we don't need it for the next step, so we can place it off to the side and grab our main hood panels. Just like with the drawstring panel, we're going to take a quick look at the fabric stretch guide. If you are using stretch fabric, the stretch can go horizontally or vertically. And if you're using non-stretch fabric, the grain can go in any direction. Next, we're going to take a look at the bottom of the panel, and this is going to be where you'll make adjustments if you want to make the hood larger or smaller. So for example, if you want to make the hood taller, which would make it larger, all you have to do is extend that bottom edge. The same rule applies if you're trying to make it smaller. Then you're just going to trim off some of that bottom edge. If you do make adjustments to the hood panel, then you're also going to need to make adjustments to the middle hood panel length. At the moment, the curved edge on the hood panel is the same length as the middle hood panel. So if you added or subtracted to the bottom edge of the hood panel, you're going to have to do the same adjustments to the middle hood panel. But anyways, I just wanted to quickly go over how to make adjustments to the hood panel, so now we can move on to the assembly. For this first step, we only need 2 panels, so we can place the other 2 off to the side. If you are making yours reversible, then you're going to need 1 of each fabric. Next, you're going to want to locate the middle hood panel, separate the 2 main hood panels with right sides facing up. Using the pattern, locate the backed curved edge, and this is where we're going to be placing the middle hood panel. There's also a guide on the middle hood panel to show you which edge to line up. So place the right sides together along the curved edge. Keep in mind these hood panels should be reflecting one another. And if you are using two different fabrics, then you're going to want to match the fabrics up with one another. Now place a few pins and sew the back curved edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, I'm using a serger because it's stretch fabric. If you don't have a serger, you can use a zigzag stitch. After finishing up, double check both sides, make sure all the layers got stitched together. Also, the middle panel should line up perfectly with that back curved edge. If for some reason it's off, it's probably because one of the layers is stretching as you're sewing it. So you really have to keep an eye on that as you're sewing so the two panels stay lined up. From here, we can grab the second two hood panels and line the curved edge up on the opposite side of the middle hood panel. Place a few pins, and just like with the first one, we're going to sew the back curved edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And again, double check the seam, make sure both layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, this next step is optional. You can add a top stitch to both of those new seams. I'm actually not going to be doing it on the stretch material, but I have another material here that's a non-stretch fabric. And what I did was roll the seam allowance away from the middle hood panel and added a top stitch. This is best to do on non-stretch materials, but if you are using a stretch material and you still want to add the top stitch, then you'll want to add it with a cover stitch sewing machine or use a zigzag stitch. But all in all, it really comes down to looks. If you like the look of a top stitch, you can totally add it. Next, we can grab the complete drawstring assembly from the previous step, and what we're going to do is line it up on the front edge of the hood panel. And real quick, you should have room at the bottom of the hood panel. It shouldn't go all the way because you need extra room there for seam allowance. If for some reason it goes past the bottom edge, then you're going to have to trim it back to create space. Now place the right sides together, lining up the center drawstring panel in the center of the middle hood panel. The raw edges should be lined up, and now we're going to take the second hood panel, place the right sides together, line up the side edges and the center, place a few pins, and then we're going to stitch that entire edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And after sewing, double check that front edge. It's very easy to miss a layer when you're dealing with this many layers, but if everything is looking good and checks out, we're going to flip the right sides out, and depending on what type of fabric you're working with, you can actually serge that bottom edge to bring both of the layers together. It makes it a little bit easier to install the hood in future steps, but for the moment, we're just going to leave it as is. And that's actually going to do it for the hood panel assembly, so we can place it off to the side and grab the scarf panel. The first thing we're going to do is separate the two layers, and I want to quickly go over if you don't have wide enough fabric to cut on the fold, you can actually just cut 4 panels out, not on the fold, and then sew that front edge. And the same goes for the fabric stretch guide. If you can't go in either of those directions, just cut it close enough to one of those directions that works best with your fabric. The next thing I want to go over is making adjustments to this pattern for a longer or shorter scarf. It all comes down to this curved edge. You can actually extend it out directly on the fold, or you can split it at the center of the curve and extend it horizontally. Both of these techniques will make this scarf longer, and if you want to make it shorter, you do the reverse. I do recommend making one just to see what you're working with, and from there, make adjustments to future scarves. That way you have a better idea of the construction and what parts to change. But anyways, we're going to flip the panels on the fold so the right sides are together and the outside edges are lined up. Once you have the edges lined up, we're going to stitch just the back edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And like always, double check the seam, make sure both layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, we can move on to the next step. Just like with the hood panel, you can add a top stitch to the back seam. Again, it's not mandatory, it's really based on what fabric you're using. If you're using a non-stretch fabric, then I highly recommend doing it. I want to show you what it would look like if you did add the top stitch. This is a non-stretch fabric. You can fold the seam allowance to the left or the right and stitch directly on the seam allowance. It does add a nice, clean, professional look, but when you're working with the stretch fabrics, it's a little bit hard and sometimes it can ripple up as you're sewing. So that's why I kind of avoid it with stretch fabric, but I will be adding it in future steps when we have more layers to work with. But anyways, moving on to the next step, separate both of the layers and flip the right sides out for one of the panels. And what we're going to do is open up the panel with the wrong sides facing outwards and place the right side facing outward panel inside. Line up all the layers with right sides together, and for this step, we're just going to be sewing the front curved edge, so place a few pins and stitch that front curved edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And if you don't have a serger, you can use a zigzag stitch. These curved edges can be kind of tricky, so double check, make sure both layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, the scarf panel preparation is complete, so now we can move on to the next step. So grab the hood panel assembly and line it up along the top edge of the scarf panel. There'll be markings on the pattern if you need assistance. And if everything was sewn correctly, the length of the hood should be the same length as the top edge. Now we want to place the right sides together, so slide the hood panel inside the scarf panel and line the bottom edge of the hood up with the top edge of the scarf panel. An easy way to do this is mark the center on the middle hood panel and then line that up with the back seam on the scarf panel. And again, if everything was sewn at the correct seam allowance, then the hood panel should butt right up up against the edge of the scarf panel. Once you have it lined up, place a few pins and stitch that entire edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. If you're working with thicker fabric, it can be pretty bulky, so take your time and use heavyweight needles. Like always, double check that top edge, make sure all the layers got stitched together, and flip the right sides out. For this next step, we're going to seal off the bottom edge, and there's multiple ways you can do this. You can roll the bottom edge over like a hem and stitch it down. If you use this technique, I do recommend serging the bottom edge before you hem it. The quickest technique is just doing a serge along the bottom edge and leaving it at that, or using double fold bias tape. But what I'm going to do is actually roll the two edges inward so the right sides are together, and I'm rolling each side in about a 1/4 inch. This is a technique you're going to want to use if you're making a reversible scarf. In the end, it gives you a clean edge at the bottom for both fabrics. This technique is a lot more time consuming because you're going to want to place pins all the way along that bottom edge. Once you have it pinned up, we're going to take it to the sewing machine and stitch directly on top of the rolled edge. And I'm stitching right up next to the edge within a 1/4 inch. And if you have one, I do recommend using an edge presser foot to get a nice clean stitch. Also, if you have a cover stitch machine, it might be best to use that instead of a regular straight stitch. But since you have multiple layers stacked up right here, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Or you can switch it up for a different look and use a zigzag stitch. Either way, all the techniques will work, and now we're going to move up to the curved edge and do the same thing. We'll be adding a top stitch along that top edge. This fabric is very flowy, so I don't like it when it shifts around, so this top stitch will lock it together. This is optional. If you like the more flowy look, you don't need to add this top stitch. We're going to be sewing the curve and then also along the bottom edge of the hood. So what you want to do is line up the two layers as best as possible and stitch directly on the seam allowance. And when we're stitching around the bottom edge of the hood, I'm actually stitching on the scarf side. And you're going to want to take your time and try to make it as neat as possible. Another quick technique is matching your thread color with your fabric color to hide any small imperfections. As you can see, this really locks those two layers together and prevents them from shifting around. Before we move on to adding the drawstring, I want to quickly pop back up to the hood and add one more top stitch. We'll be placing the top stitch on the main hood panel side along the front edge. Now, we could have added this in previous steps when we were actually making the hood panel assembly, but no worries, you can always add it later on. It's nice to see how it looks both ways. And I'm adding this top stitch about a 1/4 inch away from the front edge. And as you can see, it really cleans up that front edge and makes it look more professional. This is optional. If you like the flowy look, you can keep it how it was. Moving into the final steps, we'll be adding drawstring, and you can use any style of drawstring or cord. I'm going to be using a basic paracord. To make it easier to slide through the loop, I'll be adding a cord stopper at the bottom, and then I simply just push that cord stopper along the panel until I get to the other side. Another quick technique is using a metal hanger. Pull the cord out the opposite side to your desired length and trim it with scissors. I'm also going to be adding cord stoppers. I'm using a single opening cord stopper. You can also switch it up and use a double opening. Slide it onto the end of the cord, and to seal off that end, I'll be using cord caps. These come in a bunch of different styles. I'll put a link in the description below, but essentially what they do is cover up the raw end. All you have to do is slide the cylinder on, clip the prong piece on the end, and then slide the cylinder piece back over the prong. It's super easy to do, and it's a nice detail for a professional finish. And like I mentioned before, there's a ton of different styles, so you should be able to find some that work with your fabric. And the cord stoppers are going to be used to tighten up the hood section. They lock up on the bottom edge of the drawstring panel, pulling the hood section closed. Depending on how wide you made the drawstring panel and how big your cord stoppers are, they may want to slide back up into the drawstring panel, but there is a quick and easy way to fix this. You just need to add a tack stitch along the bottom opening of the drawstring panel, making the opening smaller so the cord stopper doesn't go up into the panel. But it's really based on the diameter of your cord and your cord stopper. And the final step is adding your branding. I use leather strips added with double-sided rivets, and the ones I placed along the bottom edge when the scarf is wrapped up, they show up along the front. Another fun thing to do if you don't have the cord caps, you can also use the leather strips to seal off the ends of the cord. At this point, you can try the scarf on and see how it fits, because I do want to quickly go over one more time how to change it up and make it a little bit longer or shorter. I did cover it briefly, but using the pattern, you can split it directly in the center of the curve, extend it out horizontally, or cut it down. And if you choose to do this, you're going to want to smooth out that top curve. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just don't want it to be jagged because you'll see that in the scarf in the end. But probably the easiest way to make adjustments is just extending out the end or trimming it down. Keep in mind, a lot does go a long way. If you add a couple inches, that's really going to make a big difference. The same goes for the bottom edge. You can actually extend that down or trim it up to make it shorter. And if you do this, just make sure the curve at the bottom stays exactly the same. Like always, I recommend making it once, see how it fits, and from there you can start making adjustments. But either way, that's going to complete the scarf. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. So go have have some fun, test different fabrics, and make something that's unique to your style. And there you have it, your infinity hood scarf is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine did. Like I said in the video, you can use a ton of different fabrics for this project, anything from stretch to non-stretch or even mesh material. So you can make it for both the winter and the summer. It's also super fun to customize by making bigger hoods, longer scarves, just overall changing it up for your specific style. Like always, I want to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Proper Fit Clothing, and until then, I'm going to keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.